Hey everyone, welcome to another $1,000 strap search. I've got my $1,000 in singles here and I'm about to show you what I found. But before I do, let's talk about this week's tip. Now, when it comes to buying notes, if I see a note that I don't have, I am very likely to buy it. That's kind of how my collection grew. I didn't necessarily go hunting for a specific note. I would go out and go, I don't have one of those. That's pretty cool. Oh, it's a decent price. I'll grab it. And I never really considered condition because to me, it was more important to have the note. I may never find that note again at that particular price. So in my collection, quite often, I will have examples that aren't necessarily the greatest, but once I have them, I can kind of cross them off the list. Now, I can keep my eyes open for good deals to upgrade my notes. Knowing that I already have the note in the first place takes all the pressure off. Now, if I happen to see one, okay, that looks better than what I have. Maybe I'll upgrade it since the price is right. So what I want to just say there is the tip is you don't necessarily have to wait for the greatest note out there at the greatest price. You may never find it. But once you do pull the trigger on a note, if you do see a good deal on a note that upgrades your collection, yeah, go for it. Who wouldn't? That's why I try not to put a specific list together as far as notes you should have, because you shouldn't really run out going to get notes that somebody else says you should get. The notes you buy should be notes that you like for whatever reason. Anyway, that's what I've got for you this week. Let's get these out of the way and take a look at what I found. Yeah, like I said, upgrading notes is a good thing to do, and, well, you'll see. All right, what did I find this week? Well, someone put a love note. We love you so much, Uncle Brad and Aunt. Oh boy, can't read it. Amber, Uncle Brad and Aunt Amber. Katie, Levi, camera. Okay. Anyway, that's just part of the cool things about sorting through singles. You can find pieces of people's lives, literally. To us, this is $1, but to Caitlin and Uncle Brad and Aunt Amber, this meant so much more at the time. So yeah, I found that. Yeah, it's going to go back in circulation, of course. But I saw it. It was a neat little story. I pulled it. I will spend it. I did find another Where's George. This one looks like that's from Ohio. I have not, South Euclid. I have not logged this one yet, so I will do that right after this. It's neat to see that stamp. There's too bad somebody wrote on it. So yeah, it's a stamp I haven't seen before. I know I get to log that one. Found some birthday notes. This one would be 2009. That would be October 25th, 2009. Another birthday note here. We've got December 19th, 1926. And then I got some trinaries. 1s, 2s, and 7s. 1s, 3s, and 7s. Now, at a glance, that looks like something, but that's not. It's not. I double-checked. It's not a repeater. It's not a radar. It just, at a glance, looks like it could be because you tend to see that 13 and that 13 and a bunch of the same numbers in the center, but nope, there's a 7 there. So yeah, just a trinary, 1s, 3s, and 7s. 0s, 3s, and 6s on this one. 1s, 5s, and 7s here. 0s, 4s, and 6s. That one lonely 6. Still a trinary. 2s, 7s, and 9s. Another 0, 3, and 6. And then I got quad 6s on this one. And then we get to my stars. Now, once again, I'll tell you about the trinaries and quads. I don't pull those because I think they're worth anything. I'm quite certain they aren't. I know some people do collect them. I don't know of very many people who actually buy them, so that's why there is no additional value. However, I am trying to find 2 notes with the same serial number. So by pulling all the quads, well, now I've eliminated almost half of the different types of digits that there are to find. Basically, anytime I find quads, I have a 1 in 10,000 shot of matching that with one of the notes that I already have, rather than just grabbing 2 random notes and having a 1 in 96 million shot. I like my ads better. All right, I got some stars. This one's kind of rough. 2013 star note here. Another 2013, also pretty rough. This one, the paper's good, but it's got hard creases in it. This one, at first I thought might have been a gutter fold, but nope, that's just a regular fold. A gutter fold is when you get a fold in the paper like this before the note is printed. That way when you separate it, they'll actually be white in the gutter. But this one was genuine and then folded after the fact, so not a gutter fold error. Another star note from 2013 here. 2013, somebody wrote on it. That's too bad. Hope it's not rare. 2013 B series, got to check that to see if that's one of the double printed. Then we got some that are a little older. 2009, starting with 3 zeros, so that's a fairly low number. That's only 15,755. Maybe that one will be rare. I'll have to check that one. 2006 star note, that's something you don't see every day. And then I did find a couple 2003s as far as older notes go. 2003s I don't normally pull, but because this was A and then the one behind it was an F, normally when I find 2003s, they're G's or L's, Chicago, San Francisco. So whenever I see a note that's other than that, I pull it just to see if I've got it in my book or not. Now we've got my 2001s, and of course it's a G, like I was saying, Chicago. Get a lot of those around here. Another 2001, New York on this one. 1999. 1999 again. This one's a little better. This one's also a little rough. 1999, very crisp. Little bit of creasing here, but the paper is really good. 1995. Now on your 1995s, you want to be checking the backs to see if it's plate number 129, I believe it is. Normally the plate numbers are on this side, but that particular plate was printed on this side, so that's very easy to spot if you run across one. So 1995, another 95 here. This one is a little worn, a little limp. This one from 95, somebody wrote 1992 on it. This one's probably going back in circulation. And the oldest note I found, this one's a 1993. 1993, and it's actually pretty crisp. It's not perfect. It does have a crease there. It does have a fold here, but not bad. Like I said, you can hold it like this and it doesn't droop, so that you can tell that the paper is pretty good on that one. So that's what I found this week. What did I pull out from my box? Well, I was talking to you about upgrades. And I don't know if I ever actually did a video on this one. This is my $1 1928 legal tender. It's the only $1 red seal note that you can find in a small size. Normally when you see red seals, you're seeing $2 bills or $5 bills. And then they also made the $100 red seal for 1966. But you never see $1 red seals. Well, the reason is the only time that they ever did a $1 red seal was right here, series of 1928. The very first year that they printed small size notes, they printed, I want to say like 1 million of these. They printed about 1 million of these to help out Puerto Rico. These were distributed in Puerto Rico. Now, a lot of you are going, why would the United States issue money, American money, for Puerto Rico? Well, because Puerto Rico is part of America. If you're born in Puerto Rico, you are an American. It is one of the places that the U.S. owns. So, yeah, that, Guam, I'm not even going to go into it. But anyway, whenever you hear people talking about Puerto Rico, this is the note that always comes to mind, the 1928 red seal. And this note, I had one before, but it was very, let's say, it was a little rough. It was yellowed, it was folded, it was creased, it was in pretty rough condition. This one is not perfect. You can see it's got a huge center crease there. It's got a hard crease here, fold here, little crease there, but overall, it's not too bad. The color is very bright. The paper is pretty clean. And yeah, you can see the price on this one was a little bit more than the one that I had before. This one I got a little bit cheaper and I bought some other stuff. So anyway, I've probably shown this note in my top 10 lists, but I don't think I ever actually showed it as the upgrade. So the 1928 Puerto Rico legal tender, the only $1 red seal you're going to find in a small size note. All right, let's take a look and see what the book has to say about this. Find it in here real quick. I'm slacking, I know. I didn't put in a bookmark, but there they are. All right, $1 red seal. All issues of the bust of George Washington. Yep, there it is. 1928 with Woods and Wooden are the signatures on there. And you can see the number printed. They printed 1.8 million total. Okay. Yes, almost 100 years ago, they only printed 1.8 million. Kind of like the rare stars we find now that are of, well, the star notes in general are out of 3.2 million. So this is half as rare as your standard star note, and it's 100 years old. Anyway, in VG8, you're talking 90. F12, you're talking 150. VF20, you're looking around 200. Mine's somewhere between the 12 and the 20. Everything is real crisp on it. It's got a couple of those folds in there, but overall, it's a decent note. So I wouldn't be surprised if it caught a 20. But you can see as you get higher, you're talking 575. Now, if you're lucky enough to score one of the star notes from there, they only made 8,000 of those. And even in VG8, you're talking $1,500. On the high side, if you've got a perfect star, that's $35,000. Yeah, not bad. $1 in 1928, $35,000 today. So yeah, sometimes saving paper money isn't too bad. So that's the 1928 $1 red seal, the Puerto Rico note. Once again, take a quick peek at the back. It does have the funny back. I didn't quite mention that. Funny backs were 1928, 1934, and a little game by the name of Monopoly decided to design their money based on the backs of these particular notes. They weren't called funny backs at the time because that was just the back, but when you start printing the backs that we see today, these here, like I said, these were only 1928, 1934. Starting in 1935, backs started looking like this. So you go from 1935 all the way to 1956 with silver certificates, and then during that time frame, you only find 1 or 2 out of every 100 that have a back like this. Yeah, you start calling these funny-looking backs. They're a little funny compared to these, so that's how they got their name, funny back. But anyway, 1928 $1 legal tender from Puerto Rico. That's what I've got for you guys this week. If you learned anything new, go ahead and hit that like button. If you like what you see and you want to see more, please subscribe. I love reading all your comments, and I'll see you again next week.